Now, this is the way I like to start my mornings. The Personal Consumption Expenditures Index is the Fed's main tool for analyzing inflation. We'll take a look at this report and we'll give you our analysis. Well, but Elon is under fire again. The Tesla stock is not up as much as you'd like this morning, probably because of all the negative FUD. The press is pushing it again. Not sure why at this point, other than maybe they're trying to curry favor with their advertisers, Ford, General Motors, Mercedes, etc. Maybe Elon's statement that he was potentially going to advertise slowed things down a bit in terms of the negative FUD, but no ads. So maybe it's time to increase the pressure on Tesla by pushing up the negative ads again. Well, anyway, this is Randy Kirk. If you like the morning show, please hit like, please hit subscribe, please hit notify. We will, of course, have Larry Goldberg. Well, we hope we're having Larry Goldberg on this afternoon. He's got some conflicts which might not allow him, but if he doesn't come on tonight, I think we'll have more of the weekend. So hit notify. Anyway, and then number 93. We're at 93. Thank you so much. This is so great. We set the goal for 100 for Monday on Patreon, and we're at 93. We need 7 more. So would you be one of the 7? Are you getting $5 a month worth of value here, or at least enough value that you would want to test and find out? Because you get 7 days free. Go up and check out what's up there. See whether it's worth it or not. Okay, let's jump in here. The Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index rose 3% for the 12 months ending in June, a slowdown from the 3.8% that was posted in May. Who told you this was going to happen? Oh, yeah. All you have to do is watch Truflation. Truflation will give you the advanced information because why? Truflation is immediate, it's current, it's day by day. So it tells you now what's going to be happening on these other reports in a month or 2 months. The PCE tends to be a little closer to reality, and it's now at 3%. So on a monthly basis, it was 0.2. So the 0.2 would be at 2.5, which is exactly where Truflation is right now. Core PCE showed prices increasing 4.1% year over year. They were expecting it to be 4.2. The economists were, so that was a plus. Now that's still at that's 4.2% year over year. It also showed that consumer spending picked up by 0.5%, so that would be 6% year over year. And then spending ticked up a mere 0.1% last month, so this was a big gain. Employment cost was up 1% versus expected 1.1%. And the prior 1.2 last month. So all of this was really fantastic. The markets, of course, are responding after the big blow off yesterday, all the profit taking. That's the only thing you could explain yesterday. It was just plain profit taking. The market ran out of steam. It ran out of money. It just thought it was out there too far. And people said, we're going to take our profits. And of course, with all the automated selling systems out there, as soon as it got started, it got momentum, then it got even lower and lower. So I took it, I felt like I kept telling you guys that there's a potential for inflation to now have bottomed out and to maybe start rising up again, although that might be next year. We might even go lower, but then we'd have these underlying issues, especially oil. So I thought just, once in a while, I'm going to take a deep dive into the commodities and report on that to you. So after doing that deep dive, with the exception of cocoa, and you can blame me for the cocoa rising up too much, okay? And then hogs and cattle, that's me too. I seem to be the cause of inflation right now. Everything else was okay. Metals, lumber, even the grains. I was expecting the grains maybe to be going up more than they were because of what's going on over in the Ukraine right now with the Russians ending their agreement with regard to allowing the grains to get out of the Ukraine and also bombing the port. So, but no, they're just fine. Just oil and gas that continue to be troubling. Now, natural gas is fine. It's actually low. There's plenty of reserves right now in the United States. So that natural gas is doing great, but oil is still flirting around that 80 level, a little down this morning, but flirting around that 80 level. Okay. So the market was tired yesterday, probably, as I mentioned before. The 10-year yield going over 4%, though, was probably the straw that broke the camel's back. I don't know. I think the market might have sold off anyway. The yield is now under 4% again this morning, but just barely. I would expect over the next couple of weeks that yield will continue to go down, especially if we get new reporting that continues to show the PCE and the CPI are correct. Tesla Fremont seems to be back in action, and then I see new reports that it's not. Anyway, I'm not really sure what's going on up now at Fremont. I'll continue to look at it in more depth. Of course, we're hoping that we're going to get the Model 3 refresh, the so-called Highland, out of Fremont. Maybe they'll be first. I kept thinking Shanghai would be first, but maybe it'll be Fremont anyway. Up every other day, the news is different about Fremont. Ford killed it on earnings yesterday and gave great guidance, but they pushed back their production of BEVs. It's really apparently harder to make BEVs than some of these companies thought. And so Ford says this will probably be a good thing, though. Pushing back their BEVs will just allow them to make even better cars and make them faster in the future. But anyway, Ford did well yesterday. This morning came out good this morning. Chevron, ExxonMobil, and PG&E are out this morning. I have not seen any of those reports yet. You might want to check them out. The market is completely ignoring. I'm sorry. There's a chance, at least, that the market is not completely ignoring 3 negative reports on Tesla right now. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these, but I think I should at least address them. All 3 are sadly almost 100% bogus, but let's just talk about them for a second. The California Attorney General is investigating the use of the word FSD again, calling it false advertising, and also looking into phantom braking. Well, okay, great. In the word FSD, I am, by the way, a graduate of law school, UCLA, in fact, the 9th best law school in the world. Anyway, and I also have spent my entire life in advertising, and I also know something about what false advertising looks like. And FSD would be the opposite of false advertising, because regardless of what the headline is, anybody that buys a Tesla gets a full chapter and verse about how it is not yet full self-driving. So I think this is a nothing burger, but it makes great headlines when you're trying to maybe encourage Tesla to advertise. Bloomberg, however, this is the one that's being touted everywhere. This is a big study, 5 years and 5,000 people in terms of Model 3 usage and Model 3, how happy people are with their Model 3. And what's the headline that's being repeated and repeated and repeated and repeated? They're talking about how Elon Musk's political positioning is causing people to either sell their Model 3s and or be less inclined to buy another Model 3. The headline that's not being repeated and repeated is that everybody loves their Model 3s and thinks they're great cars, and that they would buy another Model 3, or they would buy a Cybertruck on their next purchase. Those are not the headlines that are getting repeated. Only the part about Elon Musk and his political views. By the way, every one of my books, I wrote 4 books on bicycle retailing over the years, how to be a better bicycle retailer. Every one of those books has a very clear statement in it that it says, don't do stupid stuff with regard to your customers. Don't play stupid music in your store. Don't put stupid signage up that's going to turn people off. You know, there's only so many customers, and you don't want to really turn customers away because of your ridiculous, potential really horrible music or signage that would make people mad. Keep your store clean, I used to say, for instance. That'd be another good one, make it look beautiful. So Elon, it'd be okay with me if you didn't want to continue to make politics such a big part of your persona. On the other hand, you've got a big, you've created massive companies, and you have this opportunity to be an influencer, and I understand it. I get it. I don't use that on this channel very often. Once in a while, I'll say a little something, but I want you guys all to show up. And if you have different politics or different religion than I do, I don't want to be in your face about it. Once in a while, I'm going to say something, okay, because it's important. But Elon, he has got a huge, huge audience, and he's inclined to use it for influence. All right, the third one was range manipulation report. Okay, so the story starts out with this man who was getting less range than he thought he should be getting, and he'd call and ask for an appointment, and he'd be told no, and then he'd call for an appointment, and he just couldn't understand why he wasn't getting more range than he thought he should be getting. And then they go into this whole thing where Tesla set up a boiler room, if you will, of people that were sitting there making sure that people with range issues didn't get appointments, and doing everything over the air, doing it all by computer, where Tesla could see into the car. There was no benefit, there was no reason to bring them in if there was no range, if the battery was fine, if there was no range issue. So the story finally, after paragraph after paragraph after paragraph of all this nonsense, at the end, the guy took it in and made them do an in-person analysis. And guess what? There's nothing wrong with the car. That's how the article ends. It's a nothing burger, but it's getting headlines, lots of headlines. They also said that Tesla is lying about the EPA rating, or lying about the number of miles per charge unit per kilowatt. The EPA sets that. The EPA determines what that is. The EPA tests it, and they determine what it is. And if Tesla wants to put anything else, if they want to give any other number in terms of their range, they have to get permission from the EPA. So that is absolutely false. And then the third thing is they say that Tesla is has an algorithm in there which gives you more miles when you're full or nearly full. And then as you go down and down and down, your miles get less and less. They claim that they have been able to do this with Model S's from 7 or 8, 9 years ago. They claim that they don't know whether Tesla is still doing this. And they also make a claim that on some of the tested vehicles, they didn't have any safety amount of miles. You get down to 0 and there's still 20 miles left. We've tested that a couple of times. Yeah, there is. And I'd be shocked if it wasn't true for all Tesla vehicles, but maybe Tesla should make a statement about that. Let's see. By the way, if you didn't know it, Tesla does have those bonus miles. I'm sorry, I already told you that. Ford and Stellantis CEOs have out been giving Elon some advice. You know what? Elon likes to give them advice. Usually he's very complimentary, and usually Ford is complimentary towards Tesla. But this week, both of them are saying that, they're better. They're really better. And Volkswagen also, by the way, CEO of Volkswagen. Did they get together on this? Anyway, they're all saying that Tesla needs more variety. Well, they didn't say that. They said, we're better because we have more variety. We have more niche vehicles. Yeah, okay, whatever. Tesla has niche vehicles coming. They have a Cybertruck, and they got the Gen 3, and they've got a refresh, some kind of refresh on the Model 3. We're not sure what. Guys, you know what? We'll be looking at you in the rearview mirror. All right. Last night I did an episode you're going to want to see if you didn't see it already, called Chill. It's kind of a fun. I've been wanting to do it. It's kind of a fireside chat, but it talks about the fact that I'm feeling from Elon, I'm feeling from the Tesla community, I'm feeling from the investors. I feel like everybody's like, you know what? This is a done deal. All the products are kind of far along in their development, or they're already out there, they're already making money. And so the curve, the plan, it's kind of in place. Things have to be finished. Iterations have to be done, like on FSD and Robotaxi and obviously the Optimus and Dojo, but Dojo's in production now. I mean, everything is kind of done. And now it's just execution. And it's kind of, we're all just going to get rich today, tomorrow. Maybe it'll be a year, maybe it'll be 2 years. Anyway, I'll put a card above there. If you didn't see that one, you might want to go back and take a look. We are now at number 93 on Patreon. I just can't thank you guys enough. This is great. 7 or 8, I think 7 to go. We'll hit 100. Totally within reach. We had 3, I think 2 or 3 signups yesterday, a couple of signups already this morning. So please take advantage of the 7-day free trial. Go up there and join Patreon. Let's get to 100 by Monday. And then hit like, hit subscribe, hit notify. Larry should be on with me tonight or tomorrow. I'll probably have everybody's up at the big Tesla meeting in Northern California this week. So a lot of folks aren't available for interviews, but Brian White and Brian Wong probably be back over the weekend. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. Oh no, I almost forgot. Oh my goodness. Let's take a last look. Okay, the last look is the Dow is up strongly, 143. NASDAQ much more strongly. Tesla is now moving as it should have been moving earlier. Now it's up 7 points, which is more like what it should be. And then what do we got going on with the rest of the market? The cryptos are up okay, still down in the low 29s. The dollar has been being steady. The gold has been not doing so well. It has been dropping back, but it was after a big run up. Oil is under 80, and bonds, the 10-year is under 4. So it's pretty much, if you got up in the morning and you said, this is what I'd like to see the market, this is what I'd like to see the reporting, we pretty much got it all today, pretty much across the board. Oh, let's see Tesla. Yeah, I would expect it to end up the day, because unless there's some horrible news later in the day, I don't expect any kind of sell-off, as profit taking or anything on Tesla today. I expect it, as said over and over again. I've said this, I'll say it again. Let me say it in detail. Tesla is going to go, in my opinion, to 300. This is not investment advice. Over the next couple of weeks, it will go up and down based on news, based on profit taking, based on all kinds of things. And then we will now trade, now that we've hit 255, which I said was, I thought 265 would be the low. I said there was a chance 255 will be a low. I said there was a chance 217 would be a very low likelihood that we'd go all the way back to 217. I do not think we're going there. So 255 is now the low. The trading range will be 255 to 300 for at least the next couple of weeks, barring any crazy news about Tesla or about the market. All right. Is that clear as I can make it? I am now finally finished. It's been great talking to you.